Hi peeps, Junction 6 here. Today's Sunday and we're up to the letter T. And T stands for, of course it does, tank. What else would it stand for in the lexicon of Blitz? Yeah, tank. We're playing a tank game. And so we're interested in tanks and how they perform and everything about them. There are loads of tanks beginning with the letter T. I'm not going to name any of them in this video because there's far too many. But T stands for the Tank Museum. The Tank Museum in Bovington is just really worth a visit. Especially if you go when Wargaming are there, because they have a stand and they'll give out free tanks and things like that. Plus you get to meet some of the big YouTubers and some of the bigger clan members as well. Really worth a visit. The next T is going to be for the tech tree. Now, when I first started this game, we only had 4, and they're the top 4. Since then, obviously, we've added more and more tech trees. An interesting fact, I don't know if any of you guys know this, but the only tech tree not to have a tank in it, beginning with the letter T, is in fact the French line. There is no tank beginning with T in the French line. We're going to move on now to the next T, and that is T for tracks, or in this case enhanced tracks. I very rarely use this at all. Yeah, you know, it repairs your tracks instantly from being damaged back to undamaged, but it doesn't affect your broken tracks at all. The next T is the one I do use quite a bit, and that is the toolbox. The toolbox, as you can see there, module repairs up by 30%, so that's quite useful. I use it on all my higher tier tanks, definitely have that. The next T is of course tournaments. Yeah, now Wargaming put on lots and lots of tournaments for us, which is really good of them. And there are lots of different types of tournaments now. It's no longer just 7v7. You can get 3v3, 5v5 and even 1v1. So definitely worth doing some of these tournaments, especially if you're in an active clan. The next T is going to be tank quality. This doesn't mean, you know, your tank's any better or anything like that. It just means the resolution of the tanks. Obviously you need this as high as possible so that you can easily spot those weak points on tanks. Next T, tactics. Wow. Yeah, well, this T has disappeared totally, hasn't it, from World of Tanks Blitz. There are no tactics anymore. You can go on to Map Inspector and it'll show you all the maps and the positions you should be going to and stuff like that. I'll link it in the description, but yeah, nowadays, unless you're in a tournament, there are no tactics anymore in Blitz. Right guys, that brings us to the end of the T's. Next week I will be doing U and V combined.